work through VPC configuration, network gateways, subnets, route tables, security groups, network ACLs. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to work in a use case scenario on AWS networking. You can find the same source on AWS Educate, and this is the scenario I'm studying from there. And after this video, we are going to practice a hands-on experience which is on the lab. It's a lab practice, and you can see that in my next video. And we are now just going to see a use case scenario and see how we are going to work on it. Let's see what the use case scenario is. You have a small business with a website that is hosted on Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2 instance. You have an application server and customer data stored on a backend database that you want to keep private. You want to use Amazon VPC to set up VPC that meets the following requirements. The VPC should be in the North Virginia region, where you currently have 5 VPCs. The first address of your network must be 10.0.0.0. Your web server should be in a separate subnet from your application and database servers. Your architecture must be highly available so that the customers can access your site. Your servers must be accessible to the group of administrators by using SSH access. 5 IP addresses that you consider a threat must be conside read in security settings. We are going to work through VPC configuration, network gateways, subnets, route tables, security groups, network ACLs. So these are all considerations and configurations that needs to be done. VPC configuration. Requirements to consider are the VPC should be in North Virginia region, where you currently have 5 VPCs. The first address of your network must be 10.0.0.0. Each subnet must have 230 usable addresses. The requirements say that this VPC should be in North Virginia region, where you already have 5 VPCs. AWS has a quota of 5 VPCs per region. Therefore, you must submit a ticket to AWS to increase the number of VPCs for North Virginia region. To accommodate the requirement that the first addresses of your network be 10.0.0.0, consider using the CIDR block 16 and netmask 16. 10.0.0.0 CIDR block is netmask is 16. This option will give you enough IP addresses for multiple subnets. The next consideration is network gateways. Requirements to consider is your architecture must be highly available so that the customers can access your site. Because your VPC is hosting a website on a web server that is publicly facing, an internet gateway must be attached. Any instances in the public subnet that will have access to internet will also need a public IP address. Next consideration is subnets. Requirements to consider is your web server should be in a separate subnet from your application servers and database servers. Your architecture must be highly available so that the customers can access your site. For highly available architecture that customers will always be able to access, put at least 2 public subnets in 2 different availability zones. Traffic will be controlled by Elastic Load Balancer. Next configuration is route tables. Requirements to consider: you have an application server and customer data stored on a backend database that you want to keep private. Your customer must always be able to access your web server. You should have a route table that is configured so that your public subnets have a route to the internet through the internet gateway. The private subnets route table should not have any access to the internet gateway. And the next configuration will be security groups. Requirements to consider is your servers must be accessible to the group of administrators through SSH access. Security groups and network ACLs should be configured to allow only required traffic. Your security group for application database and web servers should all allow SSH inbound rules. Rules should be configured so that the web server can communicate with the application server, which should be able to communicate with the database servers. And this is security group inbound rule example for web server. The next configuration will be networking ACLs. Requirements to consider. Security groups and network ACLs should be configured to allow only required traffic. 5 IP addresses that you consider a threat must be considered in security settings. Your network ACL should be configured to complement the security groups. However, remember that the security groups only need inbound or outbound allow rules, but network ACLs must be configured to allow inbound and outbound rules. You should also use network ACLs to deny the 5 IP addresses that you consider a threat. Don't forget to do the practices with me. We are going to do in the next video. I'm going to practice hands-on experience on the lab, so we can do that together as well. If you want to learn with me, do more practices, don't forget to follow me on my channel. I will see you later. Bye. If you want to learn AWS Cloud and you don't know where to start and you are looking for guidance, you can learn by practicing, and sometimes it's hard to stay up to schedule. You get lost in many irrelevant topics. You don't want to lose your concentration. This is the one-page PDF that I prepared, my path that I used to learn AWS Cloud, and you can study and practice and you can become cloud practitioner. This is the best way to start. It's a 6 weeks plan, but it depends on your days and your schedule. If you are busy, you can take that 6 weeks and make it a little longer, but it has all the hands-on experiences and hands-on practices, lab practices, and lots of badges that you can get. And it has all the links. You just click on them. These are all links. They are all linked, and you just click on them and you go and find what you are going to study. And these are the important links and notes to consider. It's all included in one page. If you want to get that, just click the link in description and you'll find how to get it.